Signed, sealed, protected? The president today signing an executive order for new cybersecurity measures in Silicon Valley, but some pretty big tech CEOs sat it all out. Fox News' Kevin Cork has details. Kevin?
Stuart, good day to you. The CEOs of Google and Yahoo, even Facebook, all sitting out the summit today, part of that ongoing rift between some of the big giants in Silicon Valley and the administration in the wake of the NSA's spying program. Of course, a lot of people have heard about that. And that's an important note because as I show you some of the headlines from the executive order, you'll see why some people out in California feel a lot better about the way the administration plans to approach security matters. Among the big headlines today, it will now be the Department of Homeland Security, not the NSA, that will lead information sharing with the private sector. We're also told the DHS and the Attorney General will get together to establish rules of sharing between business and government. Here now is the president.
This cyber world is sort of the wild, wild west. And to some degree, we're asked to be the sheriff. When something like Sony happens, people want to know what can government do about this. If information is being shared by terrorists in the cyber world, an attack happens, people want to know, are there ways of stopping that from happening?
Obviously, a number of other huge CEOs were there, among them Apple's Tim Cook. But keep this in mind, Stuart, privacy experts will be listening very, very carefully to how the administration plans to roll out its so-called wheel and spoke strategy behind this, essentially how they will take the information and give it back to the companies and how much of your personal information and mine will end up in government hands. Stuart?
All right, Kevin, thank you very much indeed. To cybersecurity analyst Vinny Troia on whether this new plan's setting up another privacy showdown. Vinny, welcome to the program. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, Stuart.
Let me see if I've got this right. The technology companies want to encrypt full encryption of all information, including encryption to the point where the CIA and the NSA, they cannot get into it. The Obama administration doesn't want that level of encryption because they want to occasionally take a look-see. Have I got it right?
Yeah, I mean, to some extent, encryption is sort of the big thing right now, especially when you look at what just happened with the, with the major healthcare breach. I mean, a lot of that data should have been encrypted and it wasn't, or whatever happened. But now, I mean, it's unrealistic for all companies to encrypt all of their data. It's too costly to transfer it back and forth. It becomes very problematic. Now, from the perspective of this new legislation, they really haven't been clear on exactly what type of information they're looking for and how often they want it and exactly when they want to see it. So that's still a very big gray area in my opinion.
It is a standoff though between some of the top guys in technology and the president and his administration. That they don't see eye to eye on the privacy element and the surveillance element in information. I mean, they're a long way apart, I think.
Well, no, I think you're exactly right when it comes to the surveillance. And I think, from the president's perspective, I think they made the right decision with going with DHS rather than the National Security Agency, specifically because of everything that's been going on with surveillance and, snooping and all of that in the past. In the wake of everything that happened with Edward Snowden, everybody's very uneasy about, okay, well, if they're going to get my information, who else is going to see this information, and really, do I want that being exposed to that level?
I think the technology guys want some protection from lawsuits too, right?
And so I've been hearing kind of both sides of that. On one hand, I've been hearing that the legislation for companies that will provide the information will have reduced liability. But on the other hand, I've also been seeing reports that say, well, legislation can't ever really give companies reduced liability. So it's kind of a 50-50 split. I think they're wanting that level of reduced liability, but I'm not sure that they're going to get it.
Fair point. Vinny Troia, thank you very much indeed, sir. Thank you.